All right. I was telling Jason, my husband, this morning that I was just really excited to come down and teach. And sometimes, whether y'all know it or not, I don't fully know what I'm going to say or teach until like 9:01 as we start going. But not this morning. And I would say that's rare. I'm thinking I usually have a general plan, but everything has just been coming together. Of course, this month, focusing on that witness part, the noticing, really taking a look at yourself and habits and structures. And then I leaked out that I have this grander scheme of like we're taking a look this month and then in February moving to letting go perhaps some of the habits and awareness that you don't want to continue on with through this year, this life. And then the next month, playing in the field of possibilities, like trying on new outfits, trying on new personalities, trying on new hobbies or ways of moving, if we want to put it onto the yoga mat. Like, what if I went a little lower every single time I did Warrior 2 for that whole month or whatever it might be, just like playing with a different thought. And then that moving into really like harnessing and taking on some of that new thought, like, oh, this wasn't just a one-time practice or a one-time deal, but I'm really going to see how it works for me ongoing. Moving into, a bigger transformation and landing. And as I've moved just in January, I've set out like what that grander scheme is so that you know it and you can kind of play all along the way. I'm already starting to like get into that playing in the field of possibilities and moving towards a bit of transformation, but knowing that there's a lot of ebb and flow and just keep coming back to that witness presence. Anyways, that's a really long way of saying that today for practice, we're going to repeat some of the flows 3 times. Each time you're in the first flow, I want you to sort of embody the past, the way you've always done it, if you will. And then the second time, just the playing in the field of possibilities, like very present moment, what you want. And then the third flow, allowing you to take in what you have done, what you just did, and like moving it into sort of a future thought of what you might want. So that's what that will look like, and we're going to call it purpose. So looking back, looking forward, settling in the moment for what is our purpose. Take a comfortable seat if you haven't already, and welcome yourself to this hour of yoga practice. Settle into your breath. Become aware of the ebb and flow, inhale and exhale. Take a quick body scan from your toes through the legs, the trunk of your body, shoulders out to the arms. And then traveling from the fingers back up the arms, shoulders into neck and head. Perhaps you're first noticing the repetitive patterns that come in, how you're feeling in this moment. And seeing how something as simple as the breath can both root you and give you opportunity for what's to come in the future. Grab hold of your specific intention for this time on the yoga mat. My intention is to check myself in my patterns. My intention is to simply see what happens if I were to change a little bit of that patterning. You can use my intention or your own. And I know we're here to move together, so let's get that going. Lift the arms up to the sky, open your eyes, take in your breath, and then hand down by your side, reach over into a side bend. Inhale, both arms come up to the sky. Exhale on over to the second way. And inhale back up high. Good. Lower the hands down to your legs, palms down, and give a little bit of pressure down to feel more lifted into the chest, expansive. And then like a cat, curl round the back, drop the head, look into yourself. You can keep doing this for a couple of rounds and seated, but everyone eventually transfer over to cat-cow from all fours. So whenever you're ready, making that transfer over to all fours, and keep the movement happening. And then from cat and cow, stretch to downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, enjoy a lot of shifts and movement. Pedal out the feet a bit. Wiggle your hips, shake your head. Let this one be really present moment. Experience downward facing dog for the very first time. As if you didn't have any patterning or thought of what came before it. Good. And then lower the knees down, shift back to child's pose. As you fold in for child's pose, think possibility for your purpose in the future. Walk both hands over towards the right side. Walk across the center over to the second side. Bring the hands back to the middle. And then lift your torso upright so you're sitting back on the heels. Feel free to go more to kneeling if this doesn't feel good to you. Interlace the hands, flip the palms, lift them high. Change to plank. Squeeze the heels in tight, squeeze your glutes, lengthen the tailbone, tone the abdomen. Look a little forward rather than down. That is my habitual. I say this to us time and time again, all of those phrases in plank. Let us know that we're familiar in this posture. Change something. Take your feet wider apart. Take your hands more narrow. Bring yourself out of the usual habit to be really present. How does that change? And then let's lower flat down to the belly. Reach your hands back behind you. Turn the palms up to the sky. Inhale, lift. Lower it down. Take the hands forward. Inhale, lift. Keep breathing. I'm keeping us lifted for a while. It's not just one breath. And then lower down. Take the hands out like a goalpost, goddess arms. And do one more lift. Lower it all the way down. Press back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot all the way forward into your low lunge and take the right hand up to the sky in revolved lunge. Bring the right hand to the inside of your foot, spin the back heel down, do down dog lunge, walk the hands out over the top corner of the mat. That's usually how I guide us here in down dog lunge, but occasionally we walk the hands more towards the long edge of the mat. Try that. Walk the hands out towards the long edge. See how the body responds, breath, mind. And then maybe settle right into the middle of those things, not all the way out to the side, not all the way forward, right into the middle, a little Goldilocks in finding our purpose through this day. Okay, walk the hands back around the front foot, pick up the back heel. We're staying here on this side. Walk the hands to the front thigh and go into your full twisted lunge. Left elbow above or locked to the outside of the right thigh. Above meaning you might have your chest lifted and hovering. Untwist, set the hands down, step back to plank. Did you like feet together or feet apart? Did you like hands more apart or together based on what you tried before? See what's right now. Just holding top of our plank. What happens if you bend the elbows just a little bit, a little more tension in the muscles? And then lower flat down to the belly. We're going just one lift, belly down, back bend. You can pick anything that you want here. Locust pose or cobra, arms back or forward. Change to downward facing dog again. A couple of breaths. And then let's step the left foot forward into your long, low lunge. Left hand up to the sky, pretty habitual, noticing pattern. One of the things about doing the same poses over and over is so that we can know our habits. And then if it's really different one day, oh my goodness, what changed? Okay, down dog lunge, hand comes to the inside, back heel down. First, walking our hands over towards the top corner of the mat. This is a bigger ask in the hips, but because we do it so often, it might not feel like too much. Usually walking our hands, walking all the way out towards the long edge. Hands at about the center. Split of the feet. Tends to be a little easier on the hips, but maybe harder on that front knee. What if you're right in between? Walk the hands somewhere in between the line of the corner and the width of the long edge. All right, taking the hands back in and around, back heel lifts up, walk the hands to the front thigh. Deeper twist, right elbow to the outside of the thigh, or feel free to hover a little higher up. Palms together, point the left elbow towards the sky. Unwind, set the hands down to the mat, step back to plank one more time. Try a little something different in plank for yourself. I'm going to suggest one leg up. So you're on more of a tripod, one leg down, two arms down. If you've got one leg up, try the other leg up. All right, lower it down, lie on your belly. You pick, belly down, back bend. It's your purpose in reshaping. Maybe you try a little different belly down, back bend each time. That deeper play in the field of possibilities. Let's all push back to child's pose. Twisted child's pose, thread the right arm under the left. All of these opening movements meant to warm up the body. Get the brain, body, breath all working together. Unthread, do the second side. A lot of familiar past poses to get us grooving along. Okay, unthread. Downward facing dog. Look forward to the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms all the way to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Little pause here, another body scan. How you feeling from down in your toes to up to your head and back down from head to toes. Let's pick up the pace. 3 sun salutations here again. Let's do this first one sort of like you always would. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Cobra. And into down dog. Take 3 breaths. Look forward to the hands. Step, jump, walk. What do you usually do? Do it there. Inhale, half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms to the chest. Do something different. Just try it on. I don't usually sweep my arms up and around. I'm going to do that instead of just the straight push up. And then maybe sweep down. Try something different. Half lift, more bend or more straight in the legs. Plank pose. Try knees, chest, chin in that little grasshopper shape. Maybe all the way into up dog if you're usually staying in cobra. Why not? One time around. Downward facing dog. Play here, move here if you're usually really still, or the opposite. Be still if you usually move here. Look forward to the hands, step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift, forward fold. Lift the arms up, palms together. All right, that was super quick, keeping us right in the moment. Take 2 breaths here. What did you like from the first sun salutation? What was a little fun to play with in the second sun salutation? What do you definitely not want to do again? Let that form in our head. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Looking good. Half lift to plank. Chaturanga Danasana. Pull through for your back bend. Downward facing dog. Keep moving along. Look towards your hands. Move forward. Half lift. Fold. Stand. Reach to the sky. Palms to your chest. Yeah, bow in. Great gratitude for giving some things a shot. Utkatasana, bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Fierce pose, be fierce, be strong, be steady. Exhale and fold. Half lift. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot back into a long, low lunge here. Take your right hand high into a revolved lunge. Down dog lunge, pick the one that feels best right here, right now. And then walk the hands back to the front thigh, pick up the back heel, and as you do, go into the full twist, left elbow to the outside of the thigh. Your second look at these postures. This is going to take us right into warrior 3, so I want you to untwist. Shove your weight onto the front leg and extend the arms forward, lift the back leg up. Make like a T shape, decide how much bend or straightening you need in that standing leg to try to keep the hips square and relatively balanced. Warrior 2, set the left foot down, open up, long edge of the mat. First look at warrior 2, how do you usually do this pose? Just like second nature for most of us here. We've done warrior 2 hundreds of times. Lower the hands down around the front foot, step to plank. Lower, cobra, down dog. Step the left foot forward into the low lunge. We'll go right into the second side here. So left hand high. Again, second time trying these poses out. Maybe a little bit of something different. Into your down dog lunge. You've settled into what will feel right in the present moment. And then you've got to shift back around to the front leg, pick up the back heel, walk the hands to the front thigh, and go into the twist. Sometimes just that, the transitions being a little bit different, is what changes the habit of how the pose feels. This one's definitely a different transition. Untwist. Weight into the left leg. You kind of launch yourself up into warrior 3. Breathe. You've got this. Gently set the right foot down. Try a nice long stance so that you can open up for warrior 2. And then adjust enough so that this warrior 2 feels pretty natural to you. Really nice, yogis. Hands down to the mat. Step back to plank. Go through the vinyasa flow. Knowing that the vinyasa flow option is always not to do it. Everyone, downward facing dog. Look to your hands and step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Palms to the chest. Much of this the same. Utkatasana. We'll take just little add-ons and differences, but start in chair pose. Fold over the legs. Half lift. This time you start left foot forward, right foot back. Those opening movements for the third time around, left arm high. Think future self here. Down dog lunge. Feel. Twisted lunge. Right elbow to the outside of the thigh. Second time through for warrior 3. Is it the approach that changes for you? Maybe palms together is what I'm trying instead of apart. Present moment gives us the play. And into warrior 2. Play simply can be a little bit more movement and pulsing in and out here. Do the same or something a little different for you. That triangle pose, straighten the left leg, reach as far as you can to the left. Take left hand down to the floor or your leg, top arm up to the sky. Extended triangle pose, long through the torso, long through the arms and legs. Lower both hands back down to the ground. Turn again to your low lunge. Warrior 1, spin the back heel down. Come upright, lift the arms. Try the arms here like you did in warrior 3. Were they apart or were they together? And then lower the hands down. Step back to plank. Lower to the mat. Cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Breathe. Second side here, start right foot forward. But remember, that future self into this third round of the revolved lunge, into down dog lunge, into your twisted lunge. Square off the hips again, lift the back heel to get into the twist. Ready to fly, try warrior 3. Again, second time through on this side. Even if you fall off balance, what's something that you can try here? Into warrior 2. I'm going to try staying a little bit more lifted to save the legs and with no arms. I still feel the heart rate. I still feel the presence of the pose. Letting that future self know, hey, maybe it doesn't always have to be so hard. I don't have to struggle. Just a thought. Straighten the right leg. Go to triangle pose, and this one's coming in to the first time. From triangle pose, look down, shift back to your low lunge. Spin the back heel down, warrior 1. Warrior 1, front knee bends a lot. Straighten the back leg, try to square the hips and shoulders towards the front. Yes, body remembers well this past work in warrior 1. How does yours feel? Lower the hands on either side of the front foot. Step back to plank. Continue through your vinyasa. Is it same? Little different? Changing? Downward facing dog now. Look forward to your hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold, stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest, pause here. I always think it's so fun in the arc that I always did growing up in dance and choreography, that it's like, here's these things that we know so well, so well, so well, and then adding on just a little bit. Okay, how does that change? How does that move you forward and back? Let's just keep playing in those aspects to find purpose for this hour on the mat today. Go into tree pose, good old tree pose. Stand on your left leg and place your right foot up into tree. Just trying to mirror you and making sure I'm saying the right things. Right foot onto the left leg. Point the knee out to the side, toes down to the floor. What are you usually doing here in tree pose? How does that feeling, emotion, and picture? Good. Second side, do left foot onto the right leg in tree pose. I'm going to let you do it on your own. Left foot on the right leg. It's like a knowledge of what's worked before, but not judging the pose by how it's come in before. Good. Lower the leg down. Shake out the legs here a moment. Okay, come to maybe the center of the mat. So you've got some room in front of you and behind you to work with. And let's do that tree pose another time. So this is the second time. Place the right foot onto the left leg. And lift the arms up. Relax your shoulders. Gaze forward. Find a spot, maybe on the floor, 6 feet in front of you. And then we'll combine this back to warrior 3. So now you kick the right foot behind you and tilt the torso over. Third time around in warrior 3, yeah? And then change again to tree pose, third time around. Soulmates, maybe those two together, feels pretty nice. Maybe, maybe not. Second side, take the left foot onto the right leg. All right, I'm present, I'm full. No judgment, just in the moment. What's fun, what can work? All right, future self flies into warrior 3. And rises into tree pose again. Friends, keep that left leg lifted and take it into eagle pose. Gadardasana, left leg over the right, left arm under the right. Little tricky on ya. What if we went wild and tried a standing split? Here's a pose we don't do very often. Less past memories, perhaps. Hands down, leg up. And then set both feet down to the mat. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. An old friend. A well-worn path here, standing forward fold. Every time I try something new, it's nice to come back to something that feels right, that I'm used to. It helps to center. Press down into the feet, come all the way upright, whether that's in life off the mat or on the mat. like we're practicing here. Gardasana, eagle pose. Second side should be right leg over the left, right elbow under. Try to squeeze everything tight. From what you know of this pose, give it a go. And then standing split, something a little bit newer, even though it's the first time around for this practice. Right leg high. Do you need more bend in the left knee to reach the hands down? Feel free. Two feet to the ground. Ah, hello. Standing forward fold. Try it a little different though than the first time, a moment before. Maybe it's more of a ragdoll pose here. If you'd already done that, maybe it's a stronger hold, hands to the ground, straighter legs. Just playing it out. Change to downward facing dog, hands forward, feet back. Take your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way forward into your low lunge, back knee down to the ground. Come up. Anjali Mudra. Anjaneyasana. Both speaking from the heart here to open us up. Bring the hands to the waist, look forward. Can you power through the back heel enough to lift up the back knee? Second entry into warrior two, spin the back heel down, lift the arms up. I think I said warrior two, I apologize. I meant warrior one. Now we're going to warrior two. Side angle pose, right elbow down, left arm palm down overhead. Come into side angle different. Go lower, right hand to the ground. Inhale, warrior two, so that you can change again, side angle different again. Maybe try the bind. Everyone, unwind yourself into a low lunge. Downward facing dog, all the way back. Left foot forward into your low lunge. Set the back knee down, hands to the front thigh. Present in the second side. I'll get the words right even. Anjaneyasana, arms go high. Hands to the waist. Bring in a little bit more belly strength to push through that back heel. Rise up, high lunge. Spin the back heel down, warrior one. Looking great, friends. Warrior two, open it out to the side. Here's where we're having fun in the three flows of side angle pose. Start elbow to knee, palm down overhead. This one should feel well known. Lift up for a moment to change one thing. Go lower, hand to the floor. Yeah, lift up and do one more different thing. Your different thing might still be elbow to knee, but a little fuller mindset, a different way of breathing, yeah? Something different. And then unwind yourself back to a low lunge. Step through plank pose. Flat down against the mat. Your belly down, back bend. Take your choice. Locust, cobra, up dog. Something else. All right, let's try child's pose. Push it back. So much good work in the flow of our standing poses. I want us to get us low onto the mat and do some fun back bends and arm balances today as well. So slink on down to your belly and then roll over onto your back. We're setting up for bridge pose. For bridge pose, set the soles of your feet to the mat. Back bends in particular are something I've been playing a lot with. We talked about in a couple months ago, like try the way you've always done it and then try something a little bit different to see if it opens up. And then that helps you to land back to a spot that takes in a lot of the old, a little of the new, and becomes your present. All right, so good old bridge pose with feet hip distance apart, knees straight up, toes straight ahead. Lift the hips. Push down into your head and shoulders. Keep the little lift of the neck off of the ground. How do you usually take the hands? Do that here, clasped or not. Notice what you notice. If you got a second chance at this, what would you want to change? What would you want to play with? And then lower it down. And of course, you actually do get that second chance. Do you want to change the way your arms are? I've been changing by taking the feet just slightly wider and turning the toes out like 10 degrees. That's what's working for me. And if I turn the toes out, I've got to let the knees open that same width. All right. Your second time around, bridge pose, what can you do that feels right? Or just as a little trial on something different, why not? Exhale, lower it all the way down. Hug your knees into the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Friends, anything you want to keep a hold of, anything you want to ditch to make it your future bridge pose, that's what we're looking at here. What's to come for you? Third time around, go for it. One more bridge pose. I'm lifting a leg. Maybe you want to do the same. A little more flexibility, range of motion called for with a lifted leg, but I notice that it gives me a little more ease in the low back when I do that. It makes me happier in the pose. Why not? And lower it down. Again, hug the knees into your chest, but this time more out so that the knees are underneath the armpits. Distance between the thighs and calves, but try to squeeze the inner edges of your feet to touch. Oh, hey guys, this is our first Bakasana, crane pose, first arm balance of class. Lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Try to make your upper arm bones tap your knees. And the balance is just the mid back on the ground. Arm balance, if the hands were standing on the ceiling, you're here, strong in the abs for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down, rock yourself up to a seated position. Make that same shape in your legs and do Bakasana, inner edges of the feet together, knees apart. Hands are on the ground instead of trying to reach towards the ceiling now. Make the knees touch your upper arm bones, all the same things. Remember, this is the second time in Bakasana, so you are free to try something a little bit different for yourself. Don't feel trapped in the same patterns, the same ways that you've always tried this pose. If it's always eluded you, why not pretend that it doesn't? play, try again. Oh, name of the game, try again. Malasana, take your feet wider apart, sit your hips down low, low, low. Do Malasana like you usually do. Is that with a block underneath you and you have that present? Maybe butt higher, heels just a little lifted. What do you usually do here? Do that. All right, for Bakasana, crane pose, crow pose, whatever you wish to call it. This is your future self. Let this be the emotional way that you're coming into the pose. Is it joyous? Is it accomplished? Do the pose that makes you feel that emotion. And then come back to Malasana, but this time higher than you normally would. Elbows on the thighs. Look a little bit more forward. Feel lifted in the chest. Palms together here. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so here's the deal. Tremulous pose is next. I usually start tremulous pose from sitting on the ground and trying to levitate and lift up. It's really hard. What if we started in this levitation and then slowly grounded down? So I'm kind of starting from that future presence and grounding back into present. Place your hands on the ground. Lift just one leg, try to kick your heel towards your butt. And then as slowly as possible, I'm gonna lower down to the ground. Yes, my other foot is still on the ground the whole time. And maybe at the very, very last moment, I pick it up and feel just a little float to come all the way down. I'm gonna do that again if you need to watch. Let me try. I still think the side view is probably the best. You've got one heel kicked up, hands down. I'm imagining my whole body floating a little bit up as I slowly, slowly, slowly lower down, and then maybe have a little moment where both feet are up as I set the whole thing down. Yeah, can you almost feel, I can definitely feel how much engagement I have to do in the core. And then I'm gonna try this. Let's all try it together. I've got my ankles crossed and I'm like sitting back, and I know that's just tough on knees and ankles for some folks. And so that upper to lower might be what you want to do again and again a couple of times. But if you're okay here, you're kind of all smushed down. My calves are like grinding against each other a little bit. It's not the most comfortable bit. But I've felt a little bit of that floating sensation when I was playing in the present. And now, can you float from that grounded place up? Try just a little bit of a lift. Press down into the hands and lift. Probably on video, for us seeing each other, we wouldn't be perceptibly seeing the float. But the work and the strength and the core, do it on the second side, just meaning put the other calf on top so that both calves get a little bit of that sense of like foam rolling, yeah? Hands go down, and again, you might be coming from the up to the down instead of the down to the up here. Still, play, 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 see what happens for you. And then let's all just rest down, sit on your butt, and stretch your legs out in front of you. Yeah, cool. Thanks for playing with that. I know me just changing that mindset about tremulous has made it much more of a doable pose, thinking that I can float to lower. Be high-minded as I ground. Soles of the feet together, bow over. And really, you start to envision how we come into a lot of our yoga poses. It is like, think sun salutations. You lift up before you flow over. Taking that mindset into arm balances. Maybe you can let us play in the field of possibilities so that that future pose really is in the mix. All right, just letting it all be though here. Soles of the feet together, knees out. Baddha Konasana. Take it into a straddle, legs wide. Walk both hands over towards the right side, and then kind of choose how you want this. Come in and out through the breath, thinking known self, past self, present playing self, future opening. Where do you want to be as you change? Do it to the second side. And then to the middle. You could stay more lifted in the torso or fold more over. And then for the closing few moments of class, please do what feels right to you. You can continue here in your seated forward fold, straddle for a moment more. If you wanted to move and wiggle it out a little bit, one or two more poses. And as you settle into those last movements and then into your final stillness, I'm going to share the present moment meditation from Nit Thot Han. Nit Thot Han, a well-renowned Buddhist monk that died this week at the age of 95. So much peace, love into the world. This has always been my favorite meditation to share, and it's in this form from his book, Living Buddha, Living Christ. He says, touching deeply is an important practice. We touch with our hands, our eyes, our ears, and with our mindfulness. When you practice this way, your mind and body come into alignment. Your wandering thoughts come to a stop. You are at your best. Conscious breathing is the most basic Buddhist practice for touching peace. I offer this short exercise. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. This is like drinking a glass of cool water. You feel the freshness permeate your body. Breathing out, I smile. One smile can relax hundreds of muscles in your face and make you master of yourself. Dwelling in the present moment, we recite this line as we breathe in again, and we don't think of anything else. We know exactly where we are. When we breathe out, we say, I know this is a wonderful moment to be truly here, now, and to enjoy the present moment is our most important task. Continuing on, you can shorten this to 6 words. Think calming, smiling, present moment, wonderful moment. Take several more rounds of breath, allowing this present moment meditation to stay with you. Calming, smiling, present moment, wonderful moment. One more round together, calming, smiling, present moment, wonderful moment. You're of course welcome to stay here longer. For those ready to close with me, if you're not already, come to a seated position. Bring the hands to your closing gesture and today, chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, the universal connectedness. Shanti, peace. Sing along, listen, tune it out. Breathe out here. Deep breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I bow in deep gratitude. Bow to yourself, each other. The wisdom of the teachers that have come before us, and for this ongoing practice. Thank you. Namaste.